Happy Sunday. All right. We're connected. We're on the internet. We're live. World Wide Web. Oh, we got Martin. Oh my God, this is so great. Martin is here. I was like, we're not gonna have any Martin, but we do have Martin. Look at this. All right. Hi. I was, I was like, oh man, because Martin texted me yesterday. It was like, oh,
I didn't even know what day it was yesterday.
no, I should have said, come on over. We
I
should
thought it was
do
Sunday.
like we should record a show. You should grill me.
I
You know, say,
want to
oh,
do. Actually, I was thinking that. So at some point soon, we'll do that.
yeah,
I'll do like a
yeah,
full proper interview. And
yeah. Then I could just like upload it,
yeah,
or yeah, you
yeah.
can. That
I
would
mean, I'll
be,
put it on mine too.
yeah, that would be good. You
Yeah.
should do that sometime.
Yeah.
My girl Shannon came in. She's like, "What?" And he was coming over yesterday, and you didn't record. What's wrong with you? I was like, oh, you got a point there. Oh, so credit where credit is due there. Good to have you, Martin. All right.
Good to be here.
I don't know, Michael's not here. I think he's everybody knows him, and he helps so many
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
honestly. So he's probably off helping somebody right now. We get a few people checking in here. Sony is here. Good day, everyone. Good day to you too. Pamela. Greetings, Sean and Martin. Praise Jesus Christ. We're back again. Last time. That's good. It's great to have you, Pam. You know, it, without donations, like that's part of my whole character thing. Like, if I don't get donations, I can't continue what I'm doing. And so I really appreciate them. Like it's just such a, Bob was like, Bear Bob was like, well, I don't have to. I have thousands of followers, and we'll just house them over there, and endless food. What like? But how did certain parts
Also,
of
he
the
like
story?
takes his whole town and just picks it up. He's like, "Yeah, I'll just move
I
it
got
here.
you. Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
gonna take this whole trust with like tons of people and just
yeah,
we'll just like move it.
yeah.
It's all good."
And we'll just take care of you for life. That's in the trust too.
Yeah.
And no problem. Food, housing, yeah, take care of your health, all family problems, everything. Yeah. It's quite a script. Uh Frank, greetings, Shawnamar. Okay. And Mike is here. Hello, everyone. Great to be here. Greetings, Shawnamar, and blessing to everyone. All right, great to have you. A couple things. One thing, we're gonna have a gathering in May in this area, Sarasota area, like South Sarasota. I'm in Tacoma, so I'm probably not gonna travel far from where I am. I've done a lot of traveling. So just convenience wise, South Sarasota, this area down in Venice or whatever would be nearby here. Um, May 3rd through the 11th. Tentative ish right there, 3rd through 10th, 3rd through 11th. Basically, that's time. Okay. And we did the same time pretty much last year. So, okay. All right. People wanted to know that. And I'll get Tammy to put that up on the website too and out there and everything. But you're onto it. And I did put it in the classroom, the forum for Liberty Aid Academy or Jesus Christ Trust. I put it in there, the dates. So there's a place to refer to it. George is here. J. Bob George. Let me see what else. People are going on pilgrimage, to Mayor Baba's tomb. I was just told to go there by my guru, and I did it. And I went by myself, so some people are thinking, well, he's not going, so I don't know about all that. I'm like, yeah, but I got told to go there. So, yeah, it's about what, kind of making it happen, dropping it down to the next layer of hierarchy and action up in here. We have a short game we're playing, honestly. And if you count the time period where it's just, it's up, it's super short. Crazy short period of time. So
feels long in moments though. But
Huh?
yeah, it is. It is.
It is
Quite short.
short.
It is really quite
So
short.
if I don't hand off the reins at some point, okay. Like you read Bear Baba, oh, here the first plane is a gross world, and the next one is a subtle realm. That's all where all the powers are and everything. It's like, and then after that, you learn what's up. It's like, so you just give like all the weapons to the children and say, okay, well, and you don't give them any instructions or anything, and you just hand them over and be like, well, try not to make war. Okay, see you. It's like, wait, that doesn't. It's backwards. It's a very hard game. That's what my point. It's a very hard game to play. It really is. Um, Alan is here. God bless you, John and Arnold, joining Team Air Bible. Praise Jesus Christ. That's so sweet. Alan, you told me to go by myself while you were all in Mumbai. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. If you follow, oh, there's a spiritual hierarchy, you're like, and Alan was wise to not ask so many questions later, like, because he'll answer them and it'll move you forward spiritually, but it'll also, like, I made a joke with Mike the other day, like, I throw everything into I'm the dream crusher, basically. Like you have a dream, it's like throw it in there and make rubble out of it. Like a giant boulder of dreams is like throw it in, crunch it up. Like I crush everybody's dreams, because you get the truth and it's like, oh man, wait, what? And then you're like hyper focused on the truth and getting things right. And and then your dreams are like, oh, I'm gonna do this and have a family and the next generations, and I'm gonna really lay down the blood. It was like that stuff. It was throw it in the dream crusher, like uh and then you get to whoa, like what recapping when Martin hears us, he's like, what do you do now? So because that's what you do. Where's your dream? Because you had a plan. The plan's just just where is that thing? It's like floating around in here. Is that where dust comes from? God dang, what the? So and then you know the truth, and then actually you can play the game. It really, God has high expectations of us that we will learn this in a short period of time and apply it in a super short period of time. I mean, that's high expectations, but it also for your creator is like, I have high expectations. Well, you meet them, and you can, and you do. It's just the odd thing is how few. Honestly, how few do is the very strange thing. It just takes getting used to.
It's also every script has the opposite of how it actually is in terms of just all these religious scripts. They're all like, oh, they had so many followers, and like he was sitting under the tree and they all gathered, and it's just every script. And then even all these TV shows, like it's the same thing. Like, oh yeah, let's throw the palm fronds down or
Every
whatever.
script.
Like,
Jesus has the truth and walks into town, and the whole town turns out that's the guy throwing it. Oh my God. No. Like if it's not the guy, that's what they do. It's very funny. They're very talented. That's what I'm saying. You're given the powers before you, like, your heart is in the right place, basically, before you, because you really know and accept the truth. You're like, what are you up to over there? What are you doing? And they're just given a character to play, and is so different from us. We play from our heart, and they play the backdrop that we need to win. And I've read 2 books of Mayor Baba's lately. One I just finished today, Darshan Hours. It's really interesting. So it's kind of it's short of information and writing. It's kind of large, and there's not a whole lot of words in there. And it's basically a few interactions that individuals had basically while Mayor Baba was doing Darshan, sitting there. Someone would come before them and basically what they talked about. So short that. And he wasn't talking. So, and it's been a minute maybe since I've done some what's the word, profiting, but with a PH, like I don't make any profit because I don't do any profiting, because I don't know taxes, so I don't know what the F or the PH. But anyway, there's just one piece in here. I just haven't brought this up in a while. Okay. So Mirabal was silent for 43, 44 years, the last part of his life, right? And the whole time he's like, oh, I'm going to break my silence. I'm going to break my silence. I'm going to break my silence. Okay. And I'm just going to read that once for you. Okay. And this is on page 56 of this Darshan Hours. I'm just going to read a very short part. As the time for the breaking of my silence draws nearer and nearer, the circumstances will be such that there will be a greater and greater risk of my daemon being snatched out of your grip. And I'm obviously I'm saying it wrong. Damaan, Taman. I don't know, but it's basically the hem of your clothing. So he says all the time, like, hold on to the hem of my coat, basically, but hold on. And that's what he says a lot. And he always said, I'm going to break my silence. I'm going to break my silence. So I'm just going to decode that, since I have never seen that decoded before, and I'm going to PROPHET for a second. The counting profits. Anyway, so this is a logical thing, actually. This is a logical thing that you'll understand. It's very logical. So if you're the individual who think of yourself, oh, I'm Mayor Baba, I'm not speaking for 43, 44 years, and you're saying, I'm going to break my silence. I'm going to break my silence, and I'm the awakener. I'm the awakener. I'm the awakener. All the time. All the time. I'll break my silence. I'm the awakener. Okay, so this is what that means. Like he's the last avatar in the character of the script, right? Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, like on and on. But Meher Baba is the one right before the time loop starts. So now, isn't it interesting that a guy, think of it, you're silent. I'm not, what are you doing? I'm not speaking. I'm not making any noise, but you're not speaking generally. So if you are the individual who's not speaking for God and blah, blah, wouldn't you say, if you're going to, hey, everybody, I'm going to speak soon, right? Wouldn't you say, I'm going to speak soon? Wouldn't you say that? Would you ever say that? He never said that, actually. He said, I'm going to break my silence. He didn't say, I'm going to speak soon. I've never seen that. I'm going to break my silence. So if you're alive, right, you're the one alive, okay? And you're going to keep silence the rest of your life, yes? And you're the awakener, okay? So I'm living my life. You're the avatar. I'm living my life. One of your jobs is to keep silence up until the end. But then he knows, right? Oh, then the time loop is going to begin. That's in the script, his character. That's what's going to happen. So, if you're, hey, I'm gonna always keep silence. What would be a break in your silence? What's the only thing that would break your silence? Your death. Your death, right? Because it's not I'm stopping silence, but if you break it, if it breaks, if there's a continuation of silence and then there's a break, well, he's not consciously working on being silent right now, right? He's not in the body, hey, I'm gonna be silent today. No, it's just that part of willful stopping of speaking, that's willful. So that only ended at his death. And that's why I say his death happens, and then there's this short little time thing, and then the loop starts. That's it. There are enough clues in all the avatars and this avatar to say, oh, if you know what's up, if you know what's really going on, and you do now, that you can see everything he says makes complete and total sense. It's logical from his standpoint, it's a logical explanation of that avatar comes along, And then right after he dies, hey, the time starts. That's it. So no one's decoded that before, so I wanted to do that today. I read that and I was like, oh, I got that information today before the show. This book is an interesting book I read recently that really is so the everything and the nothing.
I just got that one.
Did you? It's really good. It's not super long, but it's very it says everything. And if you notice, it has 65 chapters. So it's funny. It talks about 64-year time loop. So it tells the whole thing. And at 64 is for forgive and forget is the name of it. Forgive and forget. So your memory wipe. And then right into the 65, which I think I read 65 last time. But I don't know if I did. So I'm gonna read this again. If I'm doing it again, my bad. But this is the in between, right? Like 65, ignorance personified. This is the end of the book, of the end of everything. This is a summation chapter. Ignorance personified. You get your memory wiped and you become ignorance personified. God is indivisible one and is indivisibly in each one and everything. What is it then that causes apparent divisions? There are no divisions as such, but there is an appearance of separateness because of ignorance. This means that everything is of ignorance and that everyone is ignorance personified. A drop in an ocean is not separate from the ocean, it is a bubble over the drop that gives it an appearance of separateness. I'm reading this word for word. But when the bubble bursts, the drop is not, and the indivisible ocean is. When the bubble of ignorance bursts, the self realizes its oneness with the indivisible self. So after this, everyone realizes the end of the game. They're like, oh crap. Even if you lost, you're like, oh, you know everything, but your memory's gonna get wiped again. That's the way it is. They don't, but to play the game, it has to you have to become ignorance personified again. Start the loop, get lied to since you're here, since birth, the whole way through. Even if it's unintentionalized, nobody knows the truth. Just nobody. So everybody's parroting lie after lie after. That's all you hear the whole time. You're like, what is going on up in here? So ignorance personified. And it really, it's dead on the numbers, so, and it's not, this was not super crazy difficult, Mayor Papa, but it's not that easy either. This one is definitely more like interactions with people is shorter, and I still hear from God from during this one. So just giving you some feedback. These are paperbacks. I got them off of eBay. They're not like super expensive books or anything like that. So a little bit of that information for you. Jay is here. Okay, good to have you, Jay. Glad you're here. You could grill me soon in a second here. I just want to make sure everybody know. Really, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. It's smart. You should have seen Alan grill me. Oh my God. He had me for almost 2 months, like every meal. It was just like, okay, so what about this? Oh yeah, so what about this? Like oh my God, that guy is so smart. I was like, okay, the answer is every time I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, you better be on your toes today. Answer some questions. This guy is for real over here. So it really helps clarity move forward when I can help an individual become clear. Then the whole place becomes clear. Honestly, that's the way it happens because I'm clear, but you're not completely clear. So if there's any way that I haven't said something right or you need to hear something, you need to hear from someone that has, plug in the switchboard. Hey, what's the answer to this? I'm like, oh, my karma is screwed if I can't answer it. You know what I'm saying? So my character doesn't have a screwed karma. It can't. So it's just like has to be plugged in. And I can say I don't know. I will say I'm not going to mess up my karma. I'm going to say the answer if I get told it. Otherwise, oh my god, that's a great question. Hold on a minute. So but let me check everything else I got here. Okay, so maybe that's just the notes I took. So pilgrimage is happening. I just want to finish on that note as far as my notes, and I know that's on a lot of people's mind. And how you prepare for it is, I'm happy to answer anything that comes up for anyone. But the goal is a one-on-one interaction with God, so you're self-preparing for that interaction as best as you can. Uh, and trying to remove anything in you that has any doubt of anything. I'm here to answer a question, really. Uh, Untangle whatever knot is on your mind. And then once you ask it, like people who ask those questions, reality plays out before you. You're like, okay, man, because you keep asking questions. Why? Because I did it with my guru. So I'm not just like, I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about the exit path out of here. And a pilgrimage is a certain time you choose to like get judgment. I had a schedule, like, hey, God, listen, I'm going to need some of that grace or not. I need to know which one it is. And let's pick a date because I feel like, you could have done it yesterday and you didn't. So let's actually put it on the calendar and we'll get together. Okay. Let's do that. And like fasting means something to God, great. Suffering, not eating when you're hungry, like basic stuff like that, and not living my life. Instead, I'm going to pause it and I'm going to go on pilgrimage. And its reason is because my life doesn't have meaning unless God is real. So I'm stopping my life. I'm going to see if God is real. So I wanted to talk about that and leave that open for if you have anything on your mind or whatever, because I know that's is and should be on your mind of doing it. It certainly was on mine when I was going over to, oh, that's where you go in this script to find out from God how you're doing. Yeah, that's the spot. Okay. And if you're really longing for God, then you're like, I gotta know, I gotta go. So and it's I think Erich, his the guy who spoke for Mayor Mama in the script said when you go on pilgrimage, you shouldn't not go because your life has this, that, or the other thing. It's like, no, that's if your life has problems, no. Hey, I don't know what I'm supposed to do up in here anymore. Like I know the truth. What that's why you go. That's why you put your life on pause. That's why you're like, hey, uh, I need my life to have meaning. So wait, and I need interaction with you to make that happen. And I need to know what role do you need me to play in your game, which is ineffable. Like I can't figure it out. It's too much for anyone to figure out. You're finally like, okay, I need to work for you. That's all. Like that's what I need to do. God, put me on your team. I'm coming to meet with you. That kind of thinking needs to be behind, and I think is for everyone behind why you're going. So I'm just wanted to open it up if anybody has anything coming on their mind. And I expect Martin does. This is the second time in a row he's here, so I know he's got something on his mind. Are we going to hear about it? I don't
Mainly
know.
here to listen. I don't know. I booked my flights, with Mike, and just trying to decide where. I mean, I think I'm gonna reach out to the Mayor Baba Center and see if I can stay there first. And then,
I would if I were you because it's such an experience to live amongst them.
yeah,
you really get who they are,
Okay.
and you can forgive them. All they are never told me the truth of my whole life. When you see the dedication to the silence,
Mm. Mm.
around the silence, like it's
Well, I find it interesting too. Even Mayor Baba's scripture that he's put out, some of it in particular is quite understandable in English. Like if you compare it to Jesus Christ or some of these other things, and yet it's still the same where it's written in a way that you can just vastly misinterpret it and still think that you're like reading it correctly.
completely.
It's so interesting how, oh, and obviously all
Completely.
scriptures like that. Every single script is like that somehow. It's written in this like perfect way where, because there are just certain people where I thought like even trying to discuss scripture might bring us closer, and it's like no. If anything, it's like they just makes it worse. I mean, I found
It
a lot
makes
of
it
the
worse
time,
for a while, but then it makes it obvious that God wrote every character's script and of every avatar. It's like, wait, you can't mean it both ways. Who can write meaning, this hidden meaning in everything perfectly? And then there's sort of a way to just read it like a fairy and just keep it on the down low.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
could, it's like, how? But no one can write
You
like
know,
that.
one I don't know, one funny thing that I was just thinking of, even just the way the scripture is and all these like pastors and preachers and stuff. I saw this skit recently that just popped on my feed where there's this comedian and he was just trying to make fun of pastors, and he was like dressing in this like they're all dressed in these clown outfits and they're on a stage and there's like smoke going everywhere and there's like drummers doing flips in the air and like and he was like, I don't know, it was just so funny how they're out there like shouting at people about scripture and doing the right thing and just all this shit, and it's like they're driving in like these whatever Rolls Royces, and just it's just, I mean, it's really funny. And even there's that TV show too called The Righteous Gemstones that sort of
Yeah, oh my God, I
that
love
show's
that. I've
funny.
seen it. It's
Yeah.
so hilarious.
But it's like that's real life though, really. I mean not real life, but it's just a lot of these characters.
It's an exaggeration
Yeah.
of, it is such a funny way of that they're giving everything for free, the whole thing, and they don't respect it. And they go nuts in a way. Like they're not grounded in God. They're in such a different petty sort of a, yeah, they read the script and whatever, but they read it at each other like like a bunch of children, like trying to get over on each other. It's funny. It's funny that, but I named this show serve as, this is after Michael Fado, uh, serve ants of God, like a servant. And Bear Baba writes, "Hey, perfect master, see everyone else's ants." Well, you're serving the ants. If you're a served ant, you're serving the ants. You know what I mean? Up here building the anthills. That's who you're serving. That's if you're serving them. It's like, oh my God. Ants don't make any, after you're not an ant. You like, wait, I was once an ant. Like everybody was like, you have to go through evolution. You have to be like an ant. Like that's what they are. They're in human form, but they don't. It's like, wait a second. It briefly, as you came back to your full consciousness of where your last lifetime was, briefly through that, you were like, hey, what the, and you didn't, it's not like you synced up, you kept going, like, oh, my transmission and my clutch are, everything's good now. Ooh, and off you went forever. Like, no, nothing ever synced up. You're like, you kept moving forward until you got to the truth to this level. And then even here, you're like, okay, I actually need the experience. And that's one thing that in one of these books, I wish I could pull it up right now, but Bear Baba writes, I'm not giving you the ocean of God. I'm giving you the experience of the ocean. Like I'll put you right back in your body. If you get it early, that's what you're getting, you know? You get the experience, so that you're back in here. It's like, oh, wait a second. What do I do now? Like, wait, That's all true. Wait just a second. And then but your switchboard is then connected to God and your answer is continuous. Because you accept no matter how many books are written about what even if God writes them, still you can't understand it. It's ineffable. You can't. You can see that God is real. I was going to name this show "Is God Real?" Maybe I'll name the next one that. But I mean, that's the only thing that becomes absolutely clear. Like, I can't figure anything out here. This is God is so real that it's like and nothing makes sense. Everything is just miracle. Everything, nothing works by anything but miracle. So we got a couple of people saying stuff. Jamie, the reason for waking up the day is God, what do you want me to do today? Thank you. Thank you. Exactly. I've shortened my prayer from that to you say, I do. And you have my thoughts. So tell me what to do every day. That's it. 100%. Well said, Jamie. Thank you for that. That's exactly it. Uh, and then you just blame God. Hey, if you, this is your created switchboard receiver, whoever I am, you're the one that controls all that. So if you're telling me the wrong thing, not really my fault anymore since I signed over with you and it's on you now. I'm the one who's going to do what you said, but you're the one who has to give me the orders. That's what a serve ant does. What do you do with ants anyway? I don't know. What do you do with ants? I don't know. Tell me. Like I'm an ant farmer now. It's like, okay, well, what do you do with them? I don't know. Tell me. Treat them nicely. They got you here. They can't win the game, so have some compassion for that work. Okay, I'll do that. So, and if anyone else shows up that wants God, you like help them. That's what we have. Uh, George, the scriptures must make sense to multitudes under different veils at the same time. Thank you. That's super well said, dude. That's so true. And I kind of think as each avatar, each major religion is sort of like getting one up the different planes is sort of focused more on a different plane of existence, and like Buddha was ultimately like your self experience with God and Jesus, but other ones weren't like that. Like Muhammad wasn't talking about becoming one with God. There is one God, and that's it. So everything is like this evolution. These avatar characters.
Does Mayor Baba specifically? Is there somewhere where he matches each avatar to which plane?
He doesn't, but I've done
You've
that.
done
He
that,
doesn't,
right?
but
Okay,
I've
because I
done
know
that.
you've done
I've
that.
done it a while
I
ago.
can't
I can't
remember
forget
though.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's mainly 8, mainly because in his way of thinking, because he adds Ganesh somewhere. He's like, that was the first one. So it's kind of like, oh, okay. So is that like a 0 plane avatar? You know what I mean? Is that the first one for the ants? It was like half animal, you know what I mean? Like, Ganesh is okay, I'm all compassionate, so I'm coming down. I'll be an animal, like halfway. Okay, so it's interesting, but you could see like, and he mentioned that you know an anchoring avatar for figuring this out for me is how I figured it out, and put them in order. First of all, they're in order in a timeline, yes, so that helps, and then so you take them that way, and then who's on what plane? Oh well, Bear said, "Oh, being like Jesus is being like on the fourth plane, like being torn apart in the miracle plane. So it's being like torn apart from the like you're on a cross, yeah, your arms are out. So it's like being torn apart. So Jesus is that symbol of being torn apart from the gross plane to the miracle plane, and and then to the mental plane. Like you give up on the miracles, and then you die, you meet with God. You leave this body like in sleep. You're not here. You don't die, but you're not here. It's a kind of a death the way Mary Mama sees it, but is samadhi, is the death. So you die, and that you do. Your breathing stops, so your heart stops, so you be with God during that time period, jump back in the body, and then you're on the mental plane. So that's that character. So they are I read, oh hey, oh Jesus on the mental, on the fourth plane. Okay, so that means they each are speaking to a different part of the audience of humanity, you know. And so you're reincarnated area, if you're, spiritually advanced to where Muhammad is the avatar and that stuff, that you'll physically reincarnate in that area, because that's where you are. uh, because Mir Baba also said you can't move forward until you accept who you are and what you are now. And you accept it, and then you can move forward. And that's a full acceptance. So, hey, and then ultimately you get to move forward into another character. It's a very slow process. I hope that helped. Sony, would it be best to stay at the Bear Center as opposed to a hotel? I would. If they haven't kicked you out, I absolutely, yes. Yes, it is better. It is better. It is better. Yes, yes. That's what we were just talking about a minute ago, and I'll continue on that vein for just a second, because you get to see who they are. These are the top ones who are running this game. Mayor Promise too. They are. They are. Like, if that's where it's generally set up as the enlightenment spot, prejudgment, come on and get it right here. Who's going to be manning that area? You know what I'm saying? The very trustworthy, high level agents that once you come to me are going to boot you right out of there. They are, and if they find out you're with me, then you're gone from there. You're gone. They know you have a real live avatar, and they kick you out. Period. They kick you out instantly. So it was very meaningful for me. Like Mike says, "Oh man, I miss the food." Like I know, like, oh, I know. You will miss when someone dedicates amount of lifetimes you can't even comprehend to a god and serves in the same location, making food, greeting you, washing, the bedding, cleaning the place, living nearby, all the stuff. They can't say anything. You understand? They can't say anything. You have to experience their dedication. You understand? To experience, wait a second, you're doing this for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, to have a forgiveness for being lied to up to this point. Then you like, oh, you had to. That's the gate. God made you. God made you to do this so that, because God said you're intelligent enough to win the game. Go play. Go play, Martin. Go play. Whoever's going on poker, go play. You're smart enough to win this game. That's what God is telling you, right? And don't tell them anything. They're smart enough. They'll get it. It's going to take a while. Still, it's fun, right? That's makes it fun. That's the nature of God, playing a fair game and making sure nobody breaks the rules ever like that. You have to experience that. And from the top level, like going to Marabah, staying there at the Pilgrim Center, but I would go to Marabah's house to Marazad with a Z. They go there like on Sundays, a pilgrimage or something. Anyway, I would go. Like, yeah, just crazy stuff happens to me when I go to those places. Like, I remember the first time I got off the bus there when I went to Marazad, his home, and it's in Happy Valley, literally. And they pulled up the bus, and I just got out, and there was just talk about there's a hill, Silas Hill, up there where Bear Baba would meet with people, stuff like that. And I was like, oh, and hey, if you're going, there's not much time. You got to really walk up Silas Hill and then come back down. Like, you got to do it, and there's not much else to stay on time for. And it's like, oh, okay. So I got out of the bus, right? I look up on Silas Hill, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to walk up there. I look up the hill because I want to see the place. I don't know. When am I going to be here? I don't know. Who knows? Stuff happens once sometimes. So I get out of the bus, I look up at the hill, and I see an outline of Mayor Baba waving at me. I'm like, "Oh my god, that's so cool. There's like a statue up there. That's amazing. Like, that looks totally like him actually." And I was like, "Wow, that's like that was the first thing when I got there. I was like, the heck?" I was like, "Okay, well, I've seen the statue up there. That's amazing. That's I can see why you would want to walk up there." But I was like, "Let me just go in and I'll see if I decide I want to go up there." Like that's I had a weird experience, like over an hour. I feel like I went up there. And I went in, then I turned around to the rest of the group and I went in like the doorway. They say no one could go into this doorway that wasn't with Bear Baba when he was robbed, and all this other stuff. You get to see the place. And I was sitting in there, and I finally said to somebody, I was like, "God dang, I just want to say, uh, that statue up on a hill up there on Seclusion Hill, or whatever it's called." So I think it's Seclusion Hill. Uh, I said, "That is incredibly realistic." And they're like, "There's no statue on that hill." I was like, "What do you mean there's I just saw Bear Mama on the top of that hill." They're like, "There's no there's no image of Bear Mama on that hill." I was like, "I beg your pardon?" I was like, "I just stepped off the bus and he's standing right up there." They're like, I'm sure the people working there. It was just my experience. And they're there their whole life, right? Trying to see Bear Mama and stuff. I was like, "Did I just got off the bus? He's standing right up there. Did you see him? It's crazy." Like the looks I got from these people, like they weren't happy for me at all. You know what I'm saying? They're like, "What the He's not lying." That was so funny. I didn't think of it at the time, but you see what I'm saying? You have to go and have the experience of the level of dedication of these people there is you can't even understand it. But when they get pissed at you for meeting with God, you feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like and that's our service to them is going there the way they're like, "You can never come back and you keep seeing God here. We can never see him." Every time you come here, you like get off the bus and he's what the they're just pissed at me. So which is a spiritual jealousy that we created in them. I'm sorry, in them. Like Mayor Baba said, spiritual jealousy is the only kind of good jealousy. So, but that's our job. It's like to show up and be like, "Hey, I saw God." Like what? And then they hate us and like, "Get out! Don't come back here." Actually, we only want you here if you don't see God. But it also, like Mario says, that everything works in a double correct way. It's like, what do you mean? You're kicking me out? No, I just saw God. They're like, "Yeah, you're out." You're like, "Wait, I saw God." You're like, "Yeah, so you're out." No, I saw God. Yeah, get out of here. Don't ever come back. And then you have to think about it. Like, oh yeah, I guess what you should say to me. Okay, which is it's jarring. It's jarring to experience that, but it's true. So staying there is good, I think it is. And staying longer is good too. I mean, however longer you can stay, like it's good. I like that question. I forgot about that experience till now. Till right now. Oh my god. I remember how pissed they were at me too. So funny. Oh, Ray God. All right. Hey, I loved your testimony. It was so real. It was like, man, that sounds crazy. She looks crazy. It's like, yeah, she's crazy with God. Like I know that experience where it's like nobody is gonna understand anything and you understand it perfectly. Thank you for doing that. Very good. I love it. Everyone's testimony and everyone's done has been wonderful, but you just did yours. So it was very sweet. Thank you. Uh, Man, the most selfish of all animals, the most personal of all creatures, who believes the earth turns, the sun shines, and death strikes for him alone. An ant cursing God from a blade of grass. Thank you. That's right. But that's the experience we're having, and it's totally unacceptable. You know what I mean? Like, because everyone has inherently in them, who am I? Because this whole script of who I am is BS. It's a no go. You're like, no. No spells no. What's the real deal? Correct. Thank you, Reagan. That's beautiful. George, NPR is a great experience. The Merrill Pilgrim Retreat Center. Yes, indeed. Uh, thank you. It is. It is. Yeah, I think it's very important uh, for developing compassion for your own and their experience in here, which are widely separate. And you develop a respect for it. So thank you. Yes. Pamela, I agree, George. It was the best experience for me. You learned to do with so little, very humbling. Thank you. Indeed. God has to take everything away from you, and you could choose to be a part of that and go to the Bear Pilgrim Center. You have nothing there. And they're like, no, you can't bring anything here, sorry, and can't have anything while you're here. No, and you don't want to bring anything. You just want God. So it's a very freeing experience to live amongst people that are that dedicated to that simplicity of just wanting God. Agreed. Thank you, Pamela. Well said. Alan, I highly recommend everyone go to experience NPR. I think it is essential. I agree. I agree. It really is. It really is. It's nothing what you think, and it's all positive, and basically you're going to miss everything. So go partake, especially if you ever like chai at all. You'll be hooked on theirs forever. It's like, okay, best chai ever. You're like, uh-oh. Okay, and they have a pile of sugar like this to put in it. They don't put any. You're just like this cane sugar. You're like, and it's early in the day. You're like getting fired up for Beer Baba. You're like, okay, yeah, I'm not using caffeine anymore, but I'm still talking about the chai. Okay, I'm just saying, it's an experience. I love it there. Sony, thank you. I will message them to get an accommodation. Martin, are you the only other person who is allowed to stay? No, I will not mention your name. That's a good idea.
Should
Uh,
we? Because Alan was saying that if we go and they ask us, how did you find, or how did you come here?
on the internet, man. Got me
But
on the World Wide Web.
yeah, but he was saying to just say that, oh, you sent us, just get it
No,
over with. No, so
no,
don't do that.
no. I would have this
Have the
experience. I
experience.
would
Okay.
give yourself this experience because it's hard to describe.
Mm,
It's very hard to describe because how many times have you gone here
mm,
and met with these individuals who are going to sit down with you
mm,
and lunch with you and have a meal with you,
mm,
and you're going to see in them something is amiss and not amiss. Like you know me too well over there, but you're supposed to not know. Like it's you have to have the experience, and the longer you can partake of it, I don't think it's a bad thing. It's not like they're trying to extend their stay here and serve every lifetime with Bear Mama. And that's not why you're there.
mm,
It's more like, oh, I want to make sure I experience what I need to experience here. Uh, and they're there to test us. That's why we're here. We're still here to get tested. So if you could go to the original test site and get super tested there, even if you fail, they'll put you back on your feet real quick. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so they know you, so they know us more than we know ourselves. And that's part of the experience, which is I can't explain. Like, how do you know me more? Like the meals, the place, it's too much. It's like this place doesn't make sense extra. It's like it's too incredible, everything and everyone there, and the people you talk to and stuff. So it's not there is time left in the loop. There is time, so you might want to go back again sometime. I experienced when I went there, even though my health gets destroyed when I go to India, I still want to go back. The people are amazing, the place are amazing, on and on and on. God is on every corner, just everything about India. I love it all. Except for how my health is like a super near death experience every time. I'm like, oh, but that's just so I step out of the path and let people move forward. And so I'm doing that. But that doesn't mean I don't love India and the people there and their dedication and stuff is impossible to describe. It must be experienced. So, especially there. So, um, Good, Sophie. Jamie, do they know already who follows you? Of course. Or is it because the pilgrims bowed at your feet in front of them for all to see? It was that reason, because they did that. And I I said no one could do it. And then at the tomb I said anyone could do it that wants to, but I'm not telling anyone to do it. And some people did, and they were kicked out, and that was it. Everyone. And that was y'all can't come back. And guilt by association, the rest of you, get out of here. I just know that, I watch people experience God there. So you have a face to face with God. That's, you get to start, hey, you made it, you get told by the one that brought you there, and that's me. So you get to, hey, I'm not here and I met with God, but then you get back and it's like, hey, you met with God, so you made it. Get to work over there on the spiritual hierarchy. Okay, what it happened to me? I was like dazed and confused coming back from God. You know the truth, but you're like, this place doesn't match up. So you're like, you know. So, but that's what I had to do. So it's just that's part of the process of getting out of here, accepting the truth and serving the ants. You know, you're going to be, we're at the carnival. And guess what your job is going to be? Anyone? Anyone? Sideshow freak. Hey, you don't fit in the hive over there, Get out of here, sideshow freak. Yeah. Actually, you're too freaky. Get out of here. Good question, Jamie. Thank you for that. Reagan, my experience as somebody was an experience of acceptance and accepting myself. Very well said. You have to accept yourself as God and God's infinite love of self as pure love. Yeah, the bliss that you full on. Like I saw that, girl. You're just a goner. And you're still coming back, and good for you for coming back. You got a daughter and a family that loves you, and you're coming back into the body, and you're serving your loved ones and God. Good for you. It's hard to come back. It's nearly impossible, and only a few chosen few can do it. The rest get death, and like, okay, you made it. You don't have to get down there and down into the slave bubble no more. Yeah, come on. Or you have to go back. I don't know. But you all want to be sure and not come back. I get that. So that's what we're about. I really, Reagan, you're taking the time to explain your experience to people is very helpful. I appreciate that because it's so difficult. And even the trying to explain it, it comes out a little bit disjointed or whatever, but it's from the heart. But that's what the experience is. It's a little disjointed and it's from the heart. So people begin to get tuned, like in tune with that and prepared and then are ready for when it happens. So thank you for doing that. Jay, so as you started to explain, my screen froze. That happens. Give it a refresh. Give it a recycle that screen. Listen, all time is on a cycle. All time is on a cycle. Who would think that? Who would think that every particle of time is on a cycle and time isn't on a cycle from start to stop? All days are weeks, months, years, a minute, second, like it's on a clock. The shape of this dome is obviously flat, like the crystal on a clock. Everything is in a cycle, and people don't think there's an overall cycle. It doesn't, it's illogical. It's illogical to think God made every single thing on a cycle. And no, time's not on a cycle. What? Wait, you're not thinking logically. It doesn't make sense.
I think the usual excuse, even if they admit there's a cycle, it's like, oh, it'll happen sometime, like way down there. It's like, oh, it's this whole like millions of years story, dinosaurs, all that, and then yeah, at some point in time, yeah, there's judgment, but it's like it's not right now.
Game of Thrones.
at some point.
Winter is coming. Did you notice it's getting cold? We haven't had a summer in a minute. We skipped the summer. It's these weird shows in the background, and like, no, it's actually, yeah, it's now. It's funny. That is the verisimilitude here. To pierce that is for the few, is for you all, and for no one else. It's really amazing for how few.
The time loop thing is really hard though, and even how if you like, and even the other thing that's I've been thinking about, like, out of all the people that I see that actually sign the trust, how many actually get to the point where they can admit that piece of information, and then all the other like thing? Because if you don't admit that, you can't admit anything like beyond that, and so really, like, even all these people that are at the door, at the gate, like, how many of them actually will get anywhere in this life? Like, I mean, it's enough that they did what they did. That's all they could do. I mean, and there's still time, but I'm just observing like the cognitive dissonance where out of all the people that sign, it's just so few, like 1% maybe who will get.
I couldn't agree more. And
what does that say about it? Like, what does that mean about the people that sign the trust and don't get farther? Like, is that?
Well, I'm practical. Like, I have to be pragmatic. Like, at the end, working for God is time is limited, like crazy, and you have to. And they ain't moving quick over there, as you mentioned. They're not. They're like, y'all, you're not on flypaper. What are you doing? That isn't flypaper. You're not stuck. Move. This took me a while to answer this within myself and accept this, and that is, and accept my role as a performer, that miracles are really the only thing we have to help people. We don't, because until you experience individually, you experience something outside of reality, you won't think there is anything outside of reality. And that's logical. So our role is performing miracles. It just is. It is. That's my role. That's why I would sometimes go crazy, super over the top, and saying I'm going to do this, or going to court, and I would just prove I can't be killed, and do things that are completely, everyone would think I would be dead. I would never do that. That's crazy. I'd be dead. This is going to happen. All the negative things. I perform miracle after miracle based on knowledge of the truth and the script. God is real. Nothing else is real. I get watched over. The basics. And you could enslave your side to enslave yourself to one side or the other here, and God is one. And once you go there, that's it. And then, how do I get these multitudes over here? Miracles. It's the only way. And honestly, that's how the sun happens and the dome spin. Everything's a miracle. And they don't even see them. They don't see them. That's like nature. What are you talking about? The thing, the ceiling, the invisible ceiling with our soul, and it spins. That doesn't concern you or make you go, who is God?
I took a class in college called Stars, Moons, and Planets. And I did it specifically because it was an elective, and it was one of the easier electives. Like, I literally went to like the first class and the midterm and the final, and that's it. And I got an A. But it's just amazing how, like, all these books you can read about, oh yeah, there's all this and this and this and this, and it's like, it's just for what? And also, I'm a big science fiction fan, and even it took me like a while, obviously, after you revealed it, but it's like, even all the science fiction, all the lore about what space should be, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't actually, from a physics standpoint, a math standpoint, like any scientific standpoint, there's so many holes in how these, because I'm interested. You watch some of these shows, like, and then you see like the physics in space and stuff, and the vacuum and all that, and it's like, but it doesn't make sense, any of it.
Even in space, they rely on the gross sphere a lot. Like, yeah, do you want to know how we know what we're talking about? All the women are in the future are in skin tight outfits. That's how we know. That's how we know space. It's like, why you what kind of evil backwards? What are you doing? Like, it's so funny the way what they actually do and what they none of it makes sense. It's funny. Yeah. But it is very entertaining. Like there was obviously a spiritual war, space, the dome, it's important. Can you figure it out? And then it sort of begins to make sense once you realize we're in the space and then God is the ocean out there. So you're in the space, get to work. You're in space, do it. It's funny. It's a joke they play on us. Let's see what who else we got here. All right, catch up here. Uh oh, this is good. I got some catching up to. George, there is no animosity or unpleasantness being kicked out. They have a job to do. Thank you. You win. You must leave. They are very pleasant. And that must be experienced. You're like, wait a second, you're kicking me out and it's a good thing and you're letting me know. And I'm at a spiritual retreat center. So I just won the game. They're like, yes, now please go. Like, what? Yeah, so like there's no rush. You can go experience God, and if you can hold on to your noggin at all, which you can't, maybe you won't get kicked out for a brief period of time, and then you will. Enjoy it until it happens. You're like, you know what? Kick me out. I don't want to be in the dome. Eventually, you'll get there. But in the meantime, enjoy the experience. They're wonderful. Um, They have a job to do, and you have a message to receive. Exactly. You learned about Baba from Life Eternal website. That's good. Good one. I learned about it from the website. What? That's why you put it out there, right? He did. What? I did learn about it. I've been to that website and learned. Sure. Not being dishonest. They will check you like that. They'll slice you, dice you, and know everything is inside of you. They already sliced and diced you before you got there through your driver, before you got there, before you left through your neighborhood slice and dicer. They know everything. They're a hive mind. They know everything. They want you to be honest, and they also listen. They're being honest. They are. They're just not telling you everything, and there is not a need for you to tell them anything because they already know. So, do you actually know that? And do you treat them accordingly? Do you know they know? Because they do know. And they know what's in you. And they're going to check you until they have decided completely without error that you completely know and accept what's going on. And you only want God. And then your vessel is cleared out and clean, and God can jump in. That's their job, by the way, to make sure that happens. So they're constantly checking with you, and you're just being honest. No, but you're not saying anything either, like them. You're being honest, but you're also not saying anything. And they take that as you respecting them and their character and their value. That's what I do now. I'm like, I got to hug a bunch of them at the drum circle now, pretty regular, because I know who they are, what they're up to, and it sucks being over there, sometimes and never being able to tell the truth and everything. And you're going to do it again. Part of that sucks. So they need a compassionate hug once in a while. Uh, Jamie, I had my first meeting with God when I was 14. I was knocked to the ground and could only repeat the name Jesus Christ. I could not get up on my own. It was an altered state. Yeah. Everyone who's going to India has had those type of different experiences, or else you would not be interested in going to India. And that's why I say go with each other. This is to be experienced, not just the other team, but members of your team are super rare. They're rarer than them. The other teams everywhere. What? They man everything everywhere. Everything is them. But to meet you all is rare and instantly puts reality into disharmony because the hive is in harmony with the script, period. We're in disharmony from the script. Yes, that's why. What was it in something in the Bible about when what more than one of you gather together, stuff happens? It's true, man. Your watchers and their watchers got to be in the same place watching over everything. What's this? How are you here? One of your watchers shows up like, what are you doing in India? Stuff like that happens. You're like, what the you know, uh, like one of the birds you see in your yard is in India, and you're like, wait a second, you watch me everywhere, stuff like that. It has to be experienced, and each of us. It's so funny. We're nothing special, right? We're nothing like, oh, hey, you Miss Trillionaire, Mr. Billionaire, all the metrics. You're famous. You're all the metrics of being somebody up in the dome. What's up? None of us really have that all the way or nothing like that. We don't. They do because they are so practiced at their character, so perfect at it, all that stuff. They have all that. We don't. We're disjointed from their level of script perfection. We're going for spiritual perfection. They do not have that. They have script perfection. I walked to the beach today, right before it got cold and everything. Jumped in the water real quick, came back. Everybody was out for a walk for that hour or whatever. Uh, everyone at house. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Say it. I'm like, hey, how are you? Hey man, hi. I just say, good morning. Say it. It's like, no, I gotta say it. Like, I know you want me to say that, but I'm supposed to play my character, so I'm gonna play my character pleasantly. Hi, how are you? Like, I'm not upset with you, but you were checking to see if I'll stay in my character, and you want me to know that you're playing your character. You should get your feathers and wings because you're playing your character. Very good. Your feathers and wings. Good job. Shut up already for a second, though. I'm just taking a walk. It's like everyone the same. Hive. You have to experience it. You know the truth, and then you go out there. You're like, how can everyone say the same stupid thing all the time? It's a miracle. Everything becomes a miracle. You're like, hive mind, what the heck is that? And then you try to figure that out, and then you're experiencing it all around. You're like, oh, okay, I got it. Enough already. So that's their job to let you peek behind, the curtain and see the Wizard of Oz. I'm glad you had that meeting with God, Jamie. Thank you for sharing. Robert Havacek, good to have you here, Robert. One should not sign the trust unless they understand it. Too many repeaters. I agree, but you got to start somewhere, and mistakes will be made. Let's get on with it. God made us so we all make mistakes. Me especially. What would I have anything? Oh, here. Oh, yeah, I made that mistake. This is what you don't want to do. You know what I mean? Do not put your foot in that bear trap. Like, what? This is the perfect bear trap. I'll put my foot in it. Like, don't do that. Like I thought it was perfect bear trap too. Oh,
Even though very few people will get deeper and maybe use it to the fullest extent, it is important that they get to the point where they do it, though. I mean, at least they get there, right?
yeah.
Better than not getting there.
Gotta start somewhere. Gotta start with the framework, and then a miracle will happen. That's what I used to say. Oh, there were so right when I started this, everyone will be given an individualized miracle. It's like, well, you'll be given an individualized miraculous timeline every single day from here on out. Like, people are like, wait, I don't know if I want all that, you know. But that's what will happen. Your your watchers. Okay, that's the break. Now let's move the script forward. Completely. JB, I had no answers for this experience until this year. Yeah, I'm glad you've done a lot. Freed up a country. Come on, what? That's few people get that character role, and that's why I reached my wing out a little more to you because I knew they were going to come for you, girl. So I'm happy that you're getting grounded with your family, and things are becoming smoothed out for you all, because that's a lot for you. You got to be, like a freedom country, or a world, and then you got a country within. So, and Mark gets a lot of people too. Is why I try to be available for. Martin does avail himself until recently, much of it, but once you start doing this work, you're like, the pressure cooker sort of starts. And I'll just wait around till the pressure hits. And okay, good. You know, like, I need answers. Yes. Uh, Robert, Jesus taught manifestation. He said he showed miracles are real. If you're one with the Father, then miracles happen, and that people responded to them. You're like, what the heck? Who's that guy? He says he's with the Father. Who's the Father? Wait, what did you just do? See, that becomes a big part of our role. Is doing that as characters on the spiritual hierarchy. Rodeo clown. That's why I made a joke of myself for years. Rodeo clown. Look, that dude is so dead. Watch, there comes a bull. Oh my God! Wait,
But
is he still alive?
when I watched the first video I ever saw from you, I keyword searched the word common law trust on YouTube. And it was one of your like 20-minute explainer videos on the trust. And I had this moment where I'm like looking at myself, and it's like all the script movie stories about the old guy who's like crazy. Even like one scene I thought of was in Westworld. There's like the guy on the street who's like, I see that over there, and like no one can see it, but it's like part of the coding, in your head.
Yeah, like
And it's like,
the tower
yeah,
that puts out all the thoughts
and I
and
saw
everything.
that
Yeah,
that's that character, like, because and even you, the way you speak about yourself, you're acknowledging like your own character, and I was like, am I really like gonna believe this guy? Like, this is like pretty insane that I'm watching this old guy on YouTube who's got a beard, like he's talking about this kind of weird stuff here. Yeah, it's just at a certain point, your ego, you're like looking at it, and you're like, what do I do?
yeah. When you see there's a role that you must play, and you're about to play it, and you're right at the curtain, and you're like, wait a second, where's the curtain? Wait, oh shoot, I'm on stage already. Crap! How long have I been on stage, by the way? It's funny, you begin to realize yourself at that point, and how far in previous lifetimes you've progressed.
Yeah.
You
Like, it felt like a wave, like, oh wow, this is like, even though I don't really believe this yet because I'm just finding out about this, it also just, why does it feel like it all makes like, just, it's like a mosaic, it just fits into place. And not everyone has the life experience to meet the truth like that. Like, I was watching myself, and I was like, oh, I have the right pieces of life experience when I can see this. And even I didn't even sign the trust, and I was already watching your stuff about the time loop. Like, I was literally, because I'm like a research person. I like to go super deep before I make a big decision. And I'm like, even without having signed it, having done nothing, I'm like, this guy is talking about a time loop. Like, what am I going to do with this? And I'm like, yeah, I have to do it, because what else is there? What other path at that point is there? Like, you see, yeah, I mean,
Yes, it's for the very few intelligent people that you have to you're it's so hard to accept yourself in an elevated position, knowledge wise, ability wise, spiritual hierarchy wise, when one of the things that makes that possible is humbleness. You know what I'm saying? Like, you find yourself there, like, wait a second, nobody said this was going to happen to me. Like, it's a bit jarring to your ego's like, oh wait, that's not cool. It's like, no, that is it. Even though you're raised closer to God, nearer to God, your ego dies as it's going up the hierarchy, because it's God becomes ineffable each step more and more. You're like, this is all true, and then that I'll never understand God, and then your ego just was like, okay, yeah, Neil, not to some old guy, to like all you see is God is everywhere, and you're like, okay, wherever you are. And that's another thing about God breaking his silence. Like, God is not here, right? God is not here. God is silent. God is silent. God doesn't speak. Hey, you made it out of the closet. Hey, dude, another one made it today, everybody. It's like silent, silent. Their Baba is an awakener. The guy was silent, completely silent. So we only have each other. And then you have to look to, okay, who knows and who has done. That's all we have. We don't. You see, it's all scripts. So you got who has the proof, and then oh my god, I totally really didn't want to say the 64-year time loop for a long time because I knew. Oh my god, it's so I had to work through it on my own, like just everybody I know, not even you all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to go tell my girl, and like, if my children, who I'd love to see again sometime in my life, will ever look me up on the internet, they're like, that 64-year time limit, that dude's way crazier than I ever thought. You know what I mean? And everyone else. So it totally puts me. I had to think about it, just like you had to think about if it's real or not, and so on. Oh yeah, I want to be the front man for a 64-year time loop. Yeah, totally. The guy in every movie. Judgment Day is near. I want to be the old guy on the courthouse steps in every stupid movie that they always take time, a few minutes out of most movies. Every head day movie takes enough time out of the movie to make fun of my character. Like, and that's built into every script. So I totally want to play that character. That's definitely
that's why it was so
that's
funny.
hero.
As I was watching, I'm like, oh, this is the guy. I was waiting for this, and I also like looked at myself, and I'm like, oh, actually, yeah, this does make sense that like I was waiting for this guy. As absurd, because I also realized the world is so absurd that you need to have an equally absurd like solution, or not solution but explanation.
Yeah, a god level explanation, but also with a comedic thread that's impossible also. So you realize God's got a joke on you and it keeps on sort of making it funny along the way, and then you're like, man, some of this isn't really that funny. And and the God's like, yeah, but other parts are very funny, right? So it's like, yeah, but the parts that aren't funny. Yeah, but there are parts that are funny. Haha. Oh man. It's really exactly. That's why I really like Reagan's testimonial lately. It's reality. You really have to wrestle with this. It's not easy. Even meeting with God, it's like a wrestling match. It's like God wins every time. He hits you with the bliss, so you're on the canvas. It's no wrestling match. It's like I gotta think through this again. But it clears everything up. God is real. I met with God. Okay. I still got to think about this another minute. Let's see. Jamie, the truth of John's work has caused even further isolation than before. People don't like the truth. They don't. Well, they don't speak it. So that's why I talked about ultimately the other team wants to see you not speak it, knowing that they know because they read your mind. So why you got to speak it? Like that's another level of your understanding in action for them. And the people that maybe do come up and ask you, okay, well, they don't know. So you can try it out on them. Or they're pulling a fast one on you, and you get to know the difference between who's who and what's what by experience, by your practice. I tell you, but then, you got to choose who each one is as you meet them and you learn. Jay, Hal, Hal, open the pod bay door. I can't do that, Dave. A 2001 Space Odyssey. Hal and Mokum. Hal is the bliss. Hal. That's so funny. Hal is in the Sufi, terms that God, Mir Baba made up. A Hal and Mokum. Mokum is meeting with God. A Hal is the bliss of God. basically. So that's funny. And Hal is not blissful at all. Hal's like, okay, Dave, I'm gonna kill you all. Like you're done. I'm gonna end the loop. Jamie, yes. Martin, well said. Good. Sony, I felt that when I saw one of your videos, I knew you fit the missing piece I have been looking for, which led me to John. It was instantaneous. I knew this was the path. Yes, very few, but indeed, I agree 100%. And you, which is a feeling we have, which is in your heart. So the logic, the head is there, but the heart needs, they have to go together. It's not them fairy tales don't have their heart in it. Even though they're amazing fairy tales that have us for a minute. Once it's head and heart together, like, no, I did this. I have proof. They never do anything. They talk. Yeah. Robert, I was on a quest prior to finding Martin. I was impressed with his YouTube video that led me here. Good. I had to prove it all before making a move. Good. It all started with Team Law 2006 long journey. It is a long journey, but we recover quickly to our previous spot spiritually on a hierarchy. We recover quickly. Whoop. And then what do I do now? We could feel it when we made it there. It's like, okay, I made it. I'm back. I'm awake now. And that's when it's a good time to go on a pilgrimage. Because you're like, wait, I'm here to see God. Where is God actually? I need one-on-one instructions. Let's do this. I need out of here. You need to tell me what to do to get out of here. Then fine, start telling me what to do. It's really that simple. I didn't know it was that simple until I met with God, but it is that simple. So talking about this, pilgrimage and ultimately the service we receive from the other team, the ants of God, we become the servants of God. We serve them by uh, uh, by being here, by being the one that they want to be ultimately. They overcome their fear, have their memory wiped. God has me. I can trust God. Look, they trust God, and everything's going to work out for them. We're here for them. Someone has to move up from beneath us as we exit, and we're the ones who bring them up. You see? We're the ones who reach down and, eventually we touch someone's hand and they get up here like, Robert, it's like, I saw you, Martin. Martin is here. Or it's for myself. That's the way it's like that's the way it happens. We get out of here, yes, as a group on a certain day, but also we reach, our meeting with God at separate individual moments. We do. And it's all set up for us like that to have that experience. So, anything else you want to grill me on before you come back next week? Grill me on.
We'll do the full grill session.
Yes,
all at once. Another
good.
Another time.
I feel it
been
coming.
Thinking about that thing.
You tell me when. I'm down for it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. This has been good. So let me say an out loud prayer. I've been praying it, quietly over here. But let me pray that I know you all want to go on pilgrimage and see God, and I pray God takes the time to meet with you because your heart is in the right place, your head is in the right place, your actions are in the right place. What else is there to do? You put it on God now. I'm going to do everything to meet with you, so you can do anything and everything, and any miracle it's already supposed to happen. You do your side. I'm coming to meet with you. See you then. Pencil it in, God. It's happening. Don't equivocate. You and me, we're going to meet. Stay single-minded like that. Like Jamie, I met with God. Okay, I'm meeting with God right then. Good. And so you shall. Okay. I'll say a prayer. You meet with God, everyone. All right. God is everywhere. You can meet with God anywhere, but to put the pressure on God and have a pilgrimage, that's the way to really, you want it this time loop. Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you, Marta, for being here. That was wonderful. really great. I'm looking forward to getting grilled. I get it's gonna be good. That's gonna
It'll
be
be good.
good. That's gonna be good.
It'll be
Martin's
good.
really smart. This will be great. Okay, everyone. God bless you, and I'll see you for the grill session, or I'll see you next week, Sunday at noon. Okay. All right. Meet with God.